The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, in his Independence Day message, reflected on Nigeria's journey towards true federalism that will ensure devolution of powers between the federal and subnational governments.
The best way to strengthen Nigeria's federalism is through continuous, deliberate, intentional reforms that respond to our present realities. No federation is ever static. Same for Nigeria. In the United States, it took over 2 centuries of amendments and Supreme Court's interpretations to balance state and federal powers. 2 centuries. In India, constitutional adjustments have been used to manage diversity while keeping the union strong. Nigeria's part must also be adaptive. So what we need now is to align responsibilities with capacities. States and local government must be empowered to deliver on areas closest to the people, such as primary education, policing, infrastructure, while the federal government, on their own, continues to focus on national cohesion, national defense, and macroeconomic stability. The ongoing constitutional review process provides the lawful platform for these adjustments. As Professor Ware, one of the most famous scholars on federalism, once said, the essence of federalism is the division of powers in such a way that the general and regional governments are each within their sphere, coordinate and independent. If we design our systems in line with this principle, Nigeria can harness its diversity, not as a source of tension, but to me as a foundation for resilience, as a foundation for growth. Absolutely, absolutely, because that is what the legislature is all about. But the question is how we address it. The Constitution is the architecture of our federation. And like any living document, it must evolve with the needs of its people. Constitutional review offers the platform to do this thoughtfully, to do this inclusively, and without destabilizing the federation. Take the legislative list as an example. We have the exclusive list and we have the concurrent list. The exclusive list contains a wide range of critical national matters, such as defense, foreign affairs, currency, custom, immigration, aviation, mineral resources, and so on. While the concurrent list, which covers areas where both the federal and the state government can legislate. Matters are so many to mention. Through constitutional review, some of these powers have already been devolved, such as railways, prisons, electricity generation. They are now on the concurrent list, though previously on the exclusive list, allowing states to innovate independently. In the same spirit, I'm currently sponsoring the State Police Bill because security is ultimately local, and empowering states to take greater responsibility for policing is a natural next step in strengthening our federal system. This shows that incremental, well-thought-out devolution works. This will allow states to be laboratories of innovation, competing and cooperating in ways that lift the entire federation. On the issue of state police, even if it is community policing, that is strengthened what matters to me as the sponsor of that bill is to make sure that policing is local. However, constitutional change alone is not enough. It must be accompanied by political will of the people, fiscal discipline, and a new culture of accountability, especially in sub-national governments. In essence, the Constitution can open the door, but great leadership at all levels must work through it for it to work. The lesson here is that decentralization does not weaken the federation. It makes it more efficient. But it must be pursued with balance. Too much centralization risks inefficiency, but unchecked devolution, on the other hand, without capacity building at state level, local government level, risks fragility. The real goal here is cooperative federalism, where each tier of government plays to its strengths and citizens experience better service delivery as a result. In other words, constitutional review provides the mechanism, but it is political consensus, institutional readiness that determines how effective such reforms will be. The clamor for restructuring is not a threat to national unity. It is an invitation to national awakening. It is about Nigerians taking charge of their own destiny, placing their hands on the plow, not looking back, and collectively deciding how our federation should work for us. This process is not about a few voices at the center, but about citizens across all regions, across all tribes, across all tongues, shaping the architecture of their own governance. My approach as Deputy Speaker and the Chairman, Constitutional Review Committee, is to situate restructuring within the constitutional, democratic, and inclusive process. Restructuring should not be reduced to a slogan. It should not. Or an elite bargaining chip, which is thrown up whenever it sounds politically correct. But it must be a people-driven conversation that is anchored on nothing but justice, anchored on fairness and equity, anchored on efficiency. Through the ongoing constitution review process, which I have the privilege of chairing, like I mentioned before, we are engaging stakeholders across the Federation to capture the yearnings of Nigerians who this Grondom should serve, or this Grondom serves. And I'm also sure you witness the large outpouring of ideas and views from different sectors and different parts of this country during the public hearing that just happened a few days ago. Nigerians came out in mass, which is a display of their strong belief in our constitutional democracy. This is not about North versus South or elite versus the grassroots. It is about building a federation. A federation where no part feels such change. A federation where everyone feels included. Therefore, restructuring for me that is properly understood is about repositioning Nigeria so that our diversity becomes our strength, not our fault line. It is not a revision of Nigeria. To me, it's a vision for a more balanced, a more prosperous, a more united, and sustainable nation.